Hello, welcome to Remo's honest take on Warcraft 3, patch 2.0 so far.
It's kind of funny how life ends up. I actually never thought of...
That's his name. Brad Chan, Senior Manager, Warcraft RTS. He is our go-to guy now.
About ever being...
I just thought the way that Brad opened up there as well. It's kind of funny how things end up. And it felt like he was about to say, I can't believe they put me on this godforsaken game. I didn't want to work on this one. I wanted to work on the World of Warcraft department. Anyway, I'll stop interrupting. Let's carry on.
When I was younger, I just wanted to play video games. Back in 2007, I was at a regional qualifier playing a game called Warcraft 3. After I qualified for the tournament, someone came up to me, gave me his card, and was like, hey, we're looking for experienced RTS players to join our design team. Naturally, I said I wasn't interested. I was going to go to the Nationals, win that, go to the Worlds, win that. Easy. Well, it was a good thing I kept that guy's card, because 16 years later, here I am, working on a game that remains so important to me and so many players around the world.
Who is this guy, WCG 2007? I was also wondering that. Do we have a Wikipedia entry for who he is? It's not very important, but it would be kind of interesting to know. So first impression, by the way, I never heard of this guy before. I think he comes across pretty genuine and pretty approachable and likable. I feel like in the corporate world, sometimes when they do these presentations, they seem like robots. They seem like they're reading a script. Sometimes they have like this dead stare, and you feel like they're not even people, at least the way they're presenting themselves. They don't even feel like people.
That is a very good point. Plus, they also overcompensate. You have the really quirky ones that talk in front of the camera, and they probably shouldn't be put in front of the camera. And they just sort of go off on this weird ramble. And it's just, what are you talking about? Whereas this guy does sound like he's talking like a normal human being. That's a good start.
I don't want to be too mean, but for example, where is she?
Is it going to be the Warcraft Rumble girl? I feel like he's going to pull the Warcraft Rumble girl up.
Holly?
Oh, I see. What's wrong with Holly? You don't love Holly?
I'm not trying to say this to be mean, but I feel like she seems distant, to say the very least.
I think she's a genuinely nice person, and I think she's got a giggle mentality, but I don't think, she's as connected, at least to Warcraft 3. She's definitely distant to Warcraft 3, but her true passion is World of Warcraft, and I think she's just got Warcraft 3 as part of it because it's Warcraft. It's the Warcraft. Because I remember there was a video of her saying, like, I've encompassed the whole Warcraft team, essentially, but she really only wants to probably work on World of Warcraft, let's face it. She probably doesn't know much about Warcraft 3 at all.
Not approachable. Not very genuinely human. Now, I'm basing this off of a 10-minute video. But I would say this guy at least comes across more relatable.
Throughout my career, I've stuck to a few guys.
All right. So I think I have pretty good first impressions about this guy. We don't know much about him yet. But now he says something interesting.
Around the world. Throughout my career, I've stuck to a few guiding principles. When something is broken, you fix it. When something is wrong, you make it right.
When something is broken, you fix it. When something is wrong, you make it right. So this is obviously, clearly referring to Reforged. Reforged was a piece of garbage, as we all know. When something
was Reforged bad?
You fix it. When something is wrong, you make it right. But they're trying to say, hey, we know it's fucked, but we want to make it better. That's good. They want to do it and they say it. That's good. But what are the actions in the end?
And if things aren't good enough, you make them better.
When things aren't good enough, you make them better. When I first heard this, I'm like, man, I would love it if they just deleted all of the old Warcraft Reforged assets. Because as he said, when something is broken, you fix it. Now, I guess
because I mean, I've made this point clear, even in the video I did a while ago, talking about whether you should buy Warcraft 3 Reforged or not. And in a lot of that, I basically was mentioning the Chronicles of the Second War Team and the Reforged. Like, I have great respect for what they've done, and they have to use Reforged to do what they're doing, or at least that's the angle they've gone down. It's a tough position to be in because I feel bad for them. But I mean, I don't. If I had it in an ideal world where it didn't impact them and they could still do their project on Classic and not be affected or something, just get rid of Reforged. I don't honestly think you need Reforged. Reforged was just a big mistake. It was an artistic desire to branch into something that should have never happened. They should have just stayed with the traditional Blizzard cartoony sort of fun vibe that was originally created in the Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3 games, and World of Warcraft continued it on. Even World of Warcraft updates, it still looks cleaner, crisper, but with that original World of Warcraft look. So some people might not like it. I still like it because it still looks like Warcraft 3 enough to me, whereas Reforged does not.
His philosophy and the team's was, well, we're going to make the Reforged things better, the graphics and so on. My personal opinion is that's the wrong approach. I think the Reforged, the units, the portraits, all the assets, all the models that were made, there's a lot of work. It was very expensive for Blizzard. Must have been many millions. Is that true? Probably. I don't know exactly how much it was, but it must have been lots of money. So it's hard to discard all of that, delete all of that, and do it again all from scratch. In my opinion, though, that's the only way you can really, really fix Reforged. Like I said earlier, if you try to polish the Reforged models we got before, it's not going to work. Because you cannot polish a turd.
That's it.
Warcraft Reforged models, the graphical side, is a big, steaming pile of turd. You can't polish it. You have to delete it and start from scratch, is my opinion. I think this is the big mistake.
It's brutal, but I like it. I'm going to be honest. I like it. That's what I think. Like I say, I feel bad for the teams that use the Reforged. But if I had to do it in a way where I didn't actually have any way to sort of hurt them, I am technically hurting them by saying that I don't think it should exist, though. That's the harsh thing. But it is what it is. It's like, we just have such a difference in opinion when it comes to Reforged. I fucking don't like the look of it. I just cannot get behind it. I can appreciate people that work on it and try to make it look good because what I'm doing is I'm appreciating their creativity and their hard work more than the actual Reforged itself, right? So it's just no,
That they're
Reforged.
They're trying to save Reforged, the Reforged assets and graphics when they are
It just drags you down like a drowning
Without further ado,
person.
I'm here to announce patch 2.0 for Warcraft
Trying to save a
3
drowning
Reforged.
person. Because the reason why I say that is I grew up and I learned how to do swimming safety, and you were taught how to save people that were drowning and what to do and life saving so I could resurrect. Fucking hilarious. I use that word. I could resurrect someone if they actually died or were choking. I know what to do, or at least I remember of what to do. But the whole premise is you were told to be very, very careful because a drowning person is a bit like an animal. If they're drowning for a reason. They don't know what to do, and they're panicking, and they're flailing their arms around, and they can hit you. They can drag you down into the water with them because they don't know how to just calm down. Basically, they're dragging you down. I feel like just Reforged existing is dragging Warcraft 3 down. If you, like Remo says, for example, if you just, it's gone. You're done. No Reforged, none of those assets, none of the icons, none of the looks. It's literally just gone now. You only have Classic. Now let's build on Classic. Let's bring in those quality of life features. Let's bring in those skins. It's only Classic. All the way. I think the game would be better for it. I said it.
Available now, this patch overhauls the environments and lighting and revamps the user interface. In addition, we are up-resing all classic Warcraft 3 assets.
All right, this was the next big question. I didn't expect this. This was a surprise to me. They're up-resing Warcraft Classic graphics. That is Classic HD. So you can see here.
Revamps the user interface. In addition,
This
we are
is-
up-resing all classic.
So this is the... Wait.
By the way, look at the little legs of the reforged Arthas model. Look at his weird long little legs. Well, he's super top heavy, but he's got these long dangly legs as they sort of run along, skip along the green terrain.
Revamps the user interface. In addition,
This
we're
is-
up-resing all classic
So this is the wait.
Just doesn't
and
look
lighting
right.
and revamps the user interface. In addition, we are up-resing all classic
So this is the Orc old base, the Orc classic Orc base, and this is classic HD, old,
Warcraft 3 assets.
new. Okay, it looks a little sharper. In my opinion, I don't see much of a difference here.
No, it's
But-
not really different.
I'm not necessarily against it. I would much prefer it if they completely deleted all that was the Reforged launch. Everything deleted and made a real good new
Remo so
Reforged
base.
with actually keeping the artistic style. And now I remember. And this is what I wanted to compare it to. Witty made a good
Oh,
video
look, it's
here.
me. Hello.
He talked about also the different visual stuff. And he's going to show...
I look fucking evil
what,
there. Look at that stare. Was I memeing, or is this just a funny stop? I look like you just said something insulting to me, and I'm going to remember it for the rest of my life.
What Warcraft models in a new engine, newly built, could look like. They did this at the Hive Workshop. This right here. This is Gul'dan, for example. I think this is what Reforged should look like. Not the ugly ass, weird graphics that we got in Reforged. This is what it should look like. And this would need a complete overhaul, a delete of all the old stuff. This Gul'dan looks amazing. There's another example. This Ogre looks amazing. This is what Reforged should look like. Maybe a few more polygons, maybe a little bit more detail, but this aesthetic, the color palette, the cartoonish style, the stylized graphical version, this is Warcraft,
Yes.
not the garbage Reforged. All right, so I'm going to leave this on for a moment because we're going to get comparisons in a second.
Assets to HD. You can now customize the type of assets you want to play with and even mix and match if you like. We have also included a bunch of quality of life changes.
So this is cool, giving players options. They can play with partly Reforged, partly Classic, Classic HD, whatever. But the fact remains, a turd is a turd. A turd is a turd, stays a turd. And Reforged is a big-ass turd.
Such as in-game hotkey customization,
I'm starting to get the feel that this isn't the promotional video for Reforged that Blizzard paid Remo for.
and a revamped ladder, and much, much more. We hope you
Now here, of course, that's what the developers always love to say. There's so much more coming. We have so much more in store. Sometimes true, sometimes a lie. Will it be true? Will it be a lie? We'll see.
enjoy this update, which will be available to everyone who owns Reforged.
So honestly, they didn't say much. They were like, oh, but
Just gonna. One thing I liked, I don't like those Reforged buildings, but I think some of the VFX, very few bits of it actually work a bit better in the classic HD, which is essentially Reforged, but with the classic look. I felt like the buildings were a little bit sharper. The tiles looked a bit sort of cleaner, higher resolution. They're not really. I think it's just the lighting sort of makes them pop more, and the fire effects on them were popping off more. So it's kind of, yeah, just do that, but for classic. I feel like that classic HD should have just been for classic. They shouldn't have attached it to Reforged because they've screwed over the Chronicles of the Second War guys. They screwed over the Reforged guys because now a bunch of their maps, terrain, is basically not working properly. The models don't look right. It's scuffed. And can you imagine the amount of work it's going to take them to try to sort of go over all of that and redo the models? They can do it, but holy shit, that's a lot of work. That's stuff that just came overnight. And who's to say that another patch down the line that introduces something else isn't going to change that for them? And you can obviously make the argument that, well, that's their choice to do that. And it is. That is the case. That's the world we live in. They have chosen to do that. So they're basically getting that punishment in a way. But, you know, it's... Stop trying to make Reforged work. Just focus on classic. The classic should be classic. You have classic, 0 changes, and then you have classic HD, which is a higher resolution of classic. So the faces of the characters just brought up in resolution, upscaled, but not shitty AI upscaled, or at least when they do the AI stuff, they need to have someone that's paying attention to it rather than just press a button on the computer, AI upscale, and say, yes, that's perfect, even if it doesn't look right or half of the image isn't completely processed. If they do that, then classic HD. Oh. Hey, Taker, thank you very much there for the raid. Welcome, everyone. Just going on a rant at the moment. Thank you very much. Watching Remo's honest take on Warcraft 3, his thoughts. I don't know if you've done a video as well, have you, Taker? You should do a video and I'll rant about it. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, so you got Classic, which is no changes. It is exactly how Classic is, not a single change. Then you got Classic HD, which is the cleaner, higher resolution of Classic. Exactly the same polygons, just higher resolution. So absolutely no changes to the animations, no changes to the size of the models like Reforged kind of did. They look exactly like Classic, just higher resolution. And then you have Classic Plus, which is like the model that Remo showed, which was Gul'dan. It's a take on Classic, but with more polygons, but in the spirit of Warcraft 3, the original Samwise Didier art style. That's what I would want. It's classic, classic, classic.
Reforged.
So honestly, they didn't say much. They were like, oh, by the way, we're going to make the Reforged visuals better. We're going to do classic HD.
Now, I'm
And we're going to have better menus and better ladder, basically.
not just here to talk about Warcraft 3. We're also here celebrating
All right. And now they talk about Warcraft 2.
releasing fully remastered versions of Warcraft 2 and 1. So you can experience the story.
I've yet to try
be able to
these.
swap between the original graphics.
This is cool
And the
for
remastered
everyone who wants to play
versions.
this again. This looks good. This is Warcraft art style. Colorful, cartoonish, a little over stylized. This is a great
each
remaster.
game. And you'll be
This is exactly what we would have loved for Reforged. But the Reforged art style, the Reforged direction was just completely off, completely wrong.
I don't know what was going on. How did they get that far down the path? It's like what was it like what was that phrase? Art by committee or something like that, where you either have one team or a guy who draws a horse, or you have a full boardroom filled with people that all take it in turns to draw this horse, and it ends up looking like half horse, half camel, half manticore, half dragon. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be half all of those because that doesn't technically make sense, but you see what I'm saying. Like, why did no one sort of put the brakes when they were doing Reforged and, hey, look, guys, this doesn't look right? Because they did, in one of those presentations at BlizzCon, talk about the different iterations they made, all the different looks for the grunt. Is he going to be more lopsided? Is he going to be bigger on the shoulders and tiny legs? They tried lots of different looks, and then they were just like, fuck it, let's go with this Reforged look that's grotesque, ugly, and gritty. How did they get to that point and then continue to do that? It's just, what was that all about?
Yeah. So my big hopes that they would completely scrap old Reforged and do new models. That would have been a lot of work. Would have been very expensive. I guess it's not happening. I guess we are stuck with Reforged. They're going to try to brush off the ugliest bits and try to polish the turd, which I think is a pointless endeavor. Like I said, I think there would have been a possibility for great improvement if they did a complete scrap and did a proper reimagining, a proper HD Reforged version with, for example, stuff like this. This is what Reforged should look like. Thank you, Witty, for providing these examples.
That's all right. There's loads more on Hive
So,
Workshop. Loads of them. Really, really good ones.
Final conclusion is, I think they went in the very wrong direction with the Reforged save attempt. I can understand it though, because scrapping and building up again from zero would be very expensive, would take a long time. I do appreciate that they try to make things better.
Yeah, quality of life.
I hope I can believe his mantra. I hope I can believe when he says that his philosophy is, when something is broken, you fix it. When something is bad, you make it better. Brad Chan, I hope we can trust you. And if that's the truth, and if you guys keep working on it, then I am here for the ride.
Witty, grow a beard. Just because Remo has a good looking beard doesn't mean I should try to grow a beard. Plus I couldn't. I don't get facial hair here or here. Not typically. Only a few strands. So it's not worth it. Plus I don't like having anything on my face. I don't like having the glasses on my face, but I have to wear them, otherwise I can't see. So I'm not really someone that likes to wear anything on my face. It just feels irritating.
But this is not enough.
It's like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Yet.
Okay. Thank you for the video there, Remo. Definitely enjoyed that. It was funny. He really is. He's taking no... he's pulling no punches when it comes to talking about Reforged. I feel like I've got to be a bit more political about it, but honestly, yeah, it's just... in an ideal world, we would have it so that no one gets hurt and that Reforged never happened. But I don't think they're going to go down that road. They do seem like they're trying to work alongside Reforged, especially, for example, those skins that you can select. You can select Reforged models. They're shown as Reforged, but it also indicates with the icon that's brown to let you know that it also works in Classic. But it's indicating what the Reforged model looks like. You should really be able to toggle between the looks and stuff like that, so you don't even have to see the Reforged versions. But yeah, they're trying to make it work. And at least that's you know, just the least egregious thing. Just whatever you're going to do with Reforged, make it minimal. Is what it is. And even, you know what? The terrain that they did with Reforged looks like I've been saying. It looks more like Warcraft 2 meets Warcraft 3 painted art. That is technically Reforged terrain. If you put the Reforged environment on in Warcraft 3, let's see, over here. Click the Reforged. Yeah, of course I'm not going to have Reforged on. So this doesn't do it justice. This actually looks good, this terrain. Or at least for the most part, looks better than even the Classic does, in my opinion. So you can play with Classic HD, Classic HD, Classic HD, Classic HD, Classic HD, because it's not Reforged. And then you can have Reforged in the environment. Because they were actually getting that bit kind of right, to be honest with you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Take care.